Hi everyone, this is my week 7 discussion post, and the figure that I thought was the most interesting to me this week was Friedrich Schleiermacher. I thought just his teachings were interesting to hear about, some of his views and how he kind of like redefined some things to kind of fit with the age, so that people would maybe understand them more. And I thought it was interesting just some of his things that he did. Like, he was a teacher of theology at both the University of Halle and the University of Berlin, which was interesting, and he also translated some of Plato's works, which I thought was cool to hear about, and about how his teachings wouldn't have existed without pietism, and things like that were interesting for me to hear about. And I thought his view on miracles was unique and interesting, how he viewed miracles as like everything was a miracle, but then people view things more as miraculous and like a miracle depending on their, like, how religious they are. So I thought that was very interesting to hear about that view. It was not something I had heard before, so I thought that that was a unique standpoint for him to take on that. And he also talked about how he viewed religion as a feeling, and he focused on like experience in his theology. So I thought that those were interesting opinions of his. And a quote that I found that was kind of summed up his work as a whole was this one. Schleiermacher's writings reflect a wide range of interests, including hermeneutics, philosophy. He translated Plato's works, New Testament studies, ethics, psychology, and of course theology. Throughout his work, Schleiermacher engaged with classical Christian beliefs, including creeds and confessions across traditions, often reconfiguring them or applied new terminology in the questions that have been raised about the credibility of the faith during the Enlightenment. So that kind of summed up some of his work by saying kind of what he focused on and how he kind of redefined and reconfigured some normal Christian views to make them kind of fit with the age, to be more understandable. So I thought that those were quite interesting to hear about. And some connections that I made with the lectures were kind of through his teachings and how they kind of contrast or follow along with some of the things that the lecturer said. Like, the lectures talked a lot about the Holy Spirit, and that was something that Schleiermacher focused on a lot in his teachings, and he kind of redefined it to he kind of like redefined some of the beliefs about it in order to kind of like fit with the age. And I also noticed something similar to that in the second lecture that we had, and it talked about how Christianity kind of connects people and how to connect with people through Christianity. And I noticed that he, in his teachings, by kind of redefining some of the terms and stuff like that, he was trying to make Christianity more aligned to the age so that people would connect to it. So I thought that that was an interesting connection there. So yeah, those were my thoughts on this week's discussion.